The second row window actually is really large and stretches out all the way to here. God, look at that design. It looks gorgeous. Welcome to CarSceneKorea. I introduce newly released Genesis, Hyundai, and Kia cars. And the car I am driving today is 2024 Kia K5. K5 once used to be called Optima in North American markets and other overseas market, but now it's all unified. Everything is now called K series with the K5, K7, that K series goes on and on. Anyhow, K5, the car that is known for its design over Sonata, which is the competitor, brother/sister car of Kia K5. If you have driven both cars before, you would actually feel and differentiate the difference between the two different cars. One pursues something over the other. I personally would like to say that Kia K5 always pursued more of a driving pleasure aspect plus the design versus Sonata being more of a family daily fit sedan that is all-round player. A great car for every single member of a family. When it comes to the Kia K5, it always has been closer to being a enthusiast car, if you know what I mean. I'm here to find out what this facelift model has got to offer. First and foremost, the design, the exterior of this car I've covered in previous video. I think I'll be including some of the footages from that video right now. There is quite a lot of an exterior upgrade or change, if you will. It's not as much as it was with Sonata, I'll give you that. It's completely different Sonata from the DNA versus the facelift that we just got, right? However, if you do take a look at the K5, especially the front, it's gotten much more aggressive. It's got that kind of a lightning, the Thor design, if you will, and that turn signal lights up, blinks up all together as a whole, which makes a huge difference from the pre-facelift model. If I get a chance, I'll park the car right next to one another and show you the difference side by side. Now that I am inside the car driving, I want to touch up on the driving pleasure itself a little more. The car I am driving currently is matched with a 1.6 turbo with 8-speed automatic. If you've been watching my channel, 8-speed automatic is my personal favorite when it comes to a daily city driving car, and when it's performance oriented, I do love 8-speed wet DCT dual clutch transmission. The 8-speed automatic, I've driven it so many times, time-wise, both distance-wise, so I know how the car is going to behave already, but probably I am being a little prejudiced here, but I can tell you already that this is going to be a great transmission for city cars like these. When you pick up the speed, kicks down, finds the sweet spot, and just pushes the car out right away, no problem. So I can use the paddle shifters to figure it out, to see how many transmissions are there. I can only see up to 5 right now. Looking at the center of the display right here, the latest design that we have gotten on Kia car, including the ccNC, connected car navigation cockpit. What you need to take away from this is that it's got both 12.3-inch dual monitors right and left, but also it's matched up with a OTA, over-the-air update. So you can actually get the latest updates and technology that Hyundai Motor Group has got to offer, and that is including the wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. I showed you how to update your car from A to Z on my previous video with all-new Santa Fe as well, so feel free to go check that video out. I honestly, the larger the screen, I don't really know if there is ever a limit to the size of the display being big enough. I actually test drove Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, and their display were like, I don't even know how to measure them in inches. They're like this big here, and it's got the connected wide screens all the way up there. So this is the market trend right now, and I don't think we can ever get used to enough display size, if you know what I mean. So this 12.3, however, certainly does the job done, shows you all the necessary information, and if that is not enough with you, there is also an HUD here in K5. Not sure if I can show you this with this one. Am I seeing it? HDA, of course, is equipped with this K5. However, it's not an HDA2. It's not a big surprise because Yep, now I can see the gears going up to 8, all the way 8, so it is an 8-speed automatic. There is the HDA2 equipped on all new Santa Fe and Genesis GV80 facelift and GV80 Coupe and so forth. The biggest difference is that with the HDA2, you get what's called hands-on detection, HOD, which allows you to just keep your hand on the steering wheel and you don't have to shake. You don't have to physically shake your steering wheel to give that torque feedback, letting the car know that you have your hands on the steering wheel, in fact. However, that's not the case with the HOD, so that is what separates the most from the HDA1 and HDA2. However, there's not so much of a difference as to how delicate the car behaves on twisty runs and corners and so forth. Both of the HDA1 and 2 do a great job on highway, and HDA stands for Highway Driving Assist. So long as you use that on the highway, your expectations will be met. However, I use it all the time on the city roads too. There sure is a little bit of a difference between 1 and 2. 2 has got to be a better upgrade in every single way, right? Built-in cam 2.0 that this K5 gets. And it also is one of the largest change that Kia K5 has got to offer. Built-in cam 2.0 is the onboard cameras now, which is available on both the front and the rear, because built-in cam 1.0 didn't have the one on the rear. However, it now also records the audio. That makes the difference. Yes, you can get all of these from a third party, if you will. One of the best part getting it from the manufacturer is it's covered under warranty. It is something that you can rely on. And I've been driving for a few kilometers now. It's really, really gentle, quiet inside out. And this model I am driving, both of the first row and second row seats have dual laminated acoustic glass. So it's really quiet and cozy. And you probably see it from the white bright interior already. It has the sand color interior. The first color on Kia K5, which was first introduced on the facelift Sorento first. Interstellar Gray is the exterior color of the car I am driving. Unfortunately, it rained like crazy yesterday, so it's a little messy. It is the typical 8-speed automatic. You don't really feel the car making the shifts in between unless you go down like a power shift down. And does have that typical 1.6 turbo engine response and feeling to it as well. I mean, I do like the engine roar that I get. It's the beauty of driving an internal combustion engine car, because that's not something you get with the EVs no more. You just get the power, all the torque in the world at the tap of the accelerator with the EVs, but not so much with the ICE, right? I do like it, and that is probably one of the reasons why you also chose the ICE cars, right? So the petrol, the engine notes, the transmission engaging, the feeling, sensation, it's all there. I do have to mention, of course, the interior. That has been integrated with all of the infotainment system. So this guy takes care of both the navigation and the AC controls right here. It makes the design and the interior really slim and allows the designer and also the passengers, the driver inside to enjoy larger space. Physically, that portion is gone. Some cars do have gigantic displays and other buttons here for you to operate and so forth, but it's all gone with this car, as you can see. So there is the charging ports underneath. You can also wirelessly charge your smartphones, and the C charging ports right there, and press on that button to allow the data transfer. And also there is the BVM blind spot view monitor equipped both left and right, showing you the direction of the turn signal you turn on. It is large and you just have a second aid always helping you out with the display right here. So on this display you can see the right side just like that, right? So this comes real handy, and also all the necessary information is on the tachometer, the fuel efficiency and all. Hopefully you can see the HUD. Yes, there is the HUD display. It is very harmonious with all of these cars in the market lately, because Kia has been doing this for a very long time. Design is just perfectly fit and set with all of the interior throughout. And I do want to show you the different drive modes too. All right, normal, sport, and my drive. So you see a little bit of an animation just like so. You can see the RPM rocketing like that. So that's the display we see now with these cars. By the way, the penetrating design theme and language of the Kia brand is opposites united, where they will find something connected and united from two very different opposite designs. That is the reason why we see rectangles inside a circle wheel that we have seen plenty of times from the EV9, and that has been implemented throughout the Kia K5 as well. So the transmission, the car feels much more crisp when I put the car into the sports mode. That is for sure. A little more louder engine notes coming into the cabin. Let me show you the interior just one more time. And as I have told you, the dual laminated glass, acoustic glass applied right here. Other design, and you can see that the car also comes with the Corel premium sound system. The tweeter, the speaker is over there too, including this, 2 memory seats and other buttons. You can turn off the VDC. The best of it all, you have the automated trunk right there. That is the best one, hands down. This little kind of a curvature and design that we haven't seen from other cars or sedans thus far, still making it unique to K5. It always has been the design when it comes to K5. Now the fingerprint recognition system, change the drive modes here. There is the dummy K5 button and very intuitive and direct buttons for your heated seats and ventilated seats like this. Other self-explanatory buttons. I am in the sports mode. You could probably hear the roar, and let me hit it just a little bit. So you do have the torque, the benefit from the 1.6 turbo, unlike the 2.0 NA naturally aspirated. Car is available in both 1.6 turbo and 2.0 naturally aspirated. I am all fan with the NA cars, I do get that, but I really think the small size engine turbo cars that we get from Hyundai Motor Group cars is like complete. I think their 1.6 and small size turbo engines are complete, if you know what I mean. To me, it feels like 1.6 turbo has all the best things in the world. It's smaller size, hence consumes less gasoline, and it's turbo, therefore you get the torque that naturally aspirated engines have difficult time finding one. And also, depending on some countries, including Korea, you pay less tax when you do have a smaller engine. So the maintenance, the power, the feedback, I do feel that 1.6 has a lot of advantage over the 2.0. But if you do feel that the 2 naturally aspirated is the only engine choice, Kia has it available for you. I haven't test driven 2.0 K5, so it might not be a fair thing for me to say, but I know how great 1.6 turbo engines are from Hyundai Motor Group family, so my vote always will go to this. Unlike we're talking about the good old time V8 5.0 naturally aspirated engine that Hyundai once gave us with Genesis. Very gentle, easy around the bumps, corners, and turns. So this 360 reverse cam allows you to park your car perfectly without opening up a door, which I sometimes do, to be honest. I did not cheat. I parked the car perfect and straight, just looking at that reverse view cam alone, just like so. So let's get out and show you the exterior color. Interstellar gray exterior. It's a little dirty, as I said, because it rained yesterday. The biggest change when it comes to this facelift model, Kia K5, that lightning, the Thor size, Thor looking exterior DRL, daytime running lights. And that design, we have seen it from the Kia EV9. It has a triangular shape and that drops down vertically, giving the aggressive look of the front look overall. It is a facelift, so it does have the language that we have seen from the pre-facelift K5. The DRL looks somewhat similar, but if you have the car side by side, you'll be able to tell the difference right away. Look at that wheel. So this is one of the opposites united I told you about. It is a circular wheel all throughout the wheels and tires, but just look at that. It's got straight lines over here, kind of having that rectangular hexagonal design inside. And this is definitely the wheels, the designs that we have not seen seen before on other cars just yet. But Kia keeps giving us this opposites united design language and theme. I really can't wait what Kia will give us with the next one, the next wheel design. So this is the rear, which drops down really quickly. It stretches far out compared to the pre-facelift model. The best part, I gotta open this up, and the best part is that it will come with the automated trunk. Just turned on the rear taillight. What do you think? It also drops down vertical, and it is just super larger compared to the pre-facelift. It's not all connected, unlike some of the Kia cars that we have been seeing, Kia Carnival. So it's not connected. Maybe that is the design cue that kind of separates a flagship car versus non-flagship. I love the profile of Kia K5 because it has a coupe-like design. Look at that profile. The slanted rear, it drops down really quickly, and I was maybe hoping on this facelift model we might see a sportsback rear trunk where the whole portion would open up like that, because we've seen it with the Kia Stinger before, right? Unfortunately, it's not the case. It has the typical sedan trunk right here, and this portion is finished with the high gloss, so it kind of fooled our eye, giving us that much of a design is put together with the rear glass. But as we know, the glass only comes down to here. This is just a plastic piece that adds and extends, that elongates the design of that fast dropping coupe-like. It's a brilliant, smart way of doing so, and I think we've seen that first with Hyundai Elantra. They put a plastic piece just like this. So compare that to Hyundai Azera parked right over there. It's got much longer trunk, which is the typical sedan's trunk versus that. So enough of that. I do want to open the automated trunk. There we go. Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, you might be thinking, hey, what's so much of a big deal about that, boy? Just give me a list of a entry-level sedan or mid-size sedan that does have the automated trunk. As far as I know from Hyundai Motor Group family, it was only Sonata. So facelift Sonata got it, so there is no surprise that Kia K5 also got this as well. No big surprise when it comes to the trunk sizes. It's the typical sedan size that we all know of. Let's open it up from here. So pull these to get the rear seats folded just like that. And that is how much space we get. So it is the typical sedan. It's not like we're gonna get an SUV size storage on the rear, but it gets the job done. It will meet your expectations so long as you keep in mind that this is a mid-size sedan. So no soundproof system has been done on top right here. The speaker right here, so you know there is no sound coming up from that point, but there is the speaker sound coming up from here. There's a nice little lighting right here on the top. I like that because sometimes my luggage will block that portion and the rest of the lighting is gone, but it's now put in on top. Kind of has better lighting projections coming down from that point. Underneath this trunk, we see these emergency kits, and there is no more donuts on Hyundai Motor Group cars. That dates back many years ago, at least for the domestic markets. Puncture kit that you can use at your emergencies. Close it down using that button, and the second row seats now get, although a manual, there's a blind. Again, we saw that on Hyundai Sonata. Roll down the windows. As I told you, we get the acoustic, the dual laminated glasses on the second row seats. And that plays a huge role when it comes to making the interior super quiet and cozy. That adds up to the NVH, noise, vibration, and harshness. So the second row windows do not go all the way down right here, which actually does make many of the times your doggos would hang their faces somewhere over here. That is including my doggo, Dimsung. So you see the glasses, the second row window actually is really large and stretches out all the way to here. When the seats are upright, put in the right position, my doggo would stand somewhere here, hang her face out right here. Not so much of a big deal when it comes to people sitting on the second row seats, looking out the windows and so forth. So this quarter glass is not the largest one you would find. Tiny cup holder, but you can fit it. Cans, no problem, but anything larger than that, you might have a little bit of a problem. So door pocket and the second row AC vents and the seat charging ports on the rear, just like so. What do you think about this sand interior? I do really love bright interiors that manufacturers give me. One of my personal favorite, it always has been the Genesis. The Genesis G80 Electrified had a beautiful wide interior, a drop-down glove box just like so. The ambient lighting runs across just like that. I am inside the second row seats. No problem for an adult to sit on the second row seat. I have plenty of leg room. Just look at that. And I did not push the driver's seat forward for this. So it's got plenty of leg room. There is the transmission tunnel right there. So it's a little bit of a downside comparing it to the EVs. You know, it's okay as long as I sit on either this side or that side. Slide, tilt, move your seats using these buttons. So this gets in your way many times when you do have a baby sitting on the second row seat. So that makes a huge difference. That integrated design in the middle does play a huge role, giving us this crisp look, feeling of the interior all throughout. Just look at that. It's beautifully, beautifully done. The steering wheel design, it's not completely new from the ones we have been seeing, but does give us a refreshed, updated looks just like so. And this is the center console, what you would see in the middle. The fingerprint recognition system, very direct and intuitive. Heated and ventilated seats just like so. Push it up, push it down. K5, different drive modes, twist it around, and it does not rotate completely. It only goes left and right just like that. And heated steering wheel, K5, it's a dummy button, it's not going to do anything. A little bit of a pocket right here, but huge center around console in the middle, wireless charging pads and C-type ports for Android Auto and so forth, as I've shown you earlier. And that is the brand new facelift Sorento, by the way, just looking great. Kia does now really have brought all together their family look. So steering wheel also has a little bit of a D cut, the D shape underneath, so kind of has that racing car DNA, if you know what I mean. Other buttons and features on the top remain the same. It's the typical, it's the obvious. So just like that. So let's actually go quickly check what's underneath the hood. We will see the typical engine that we've been seeing from the 1.6. I don't think it's gonna be the gas lift. Are you? Oh wow, it is gas lift. I am genuinely surprised. It is a gas lift. Tiny 1.6 turbo GDI engine, smart stream. We've been seeing it many times. You might be hearing this rattle and the noise. It doesn't really bother me all that much, and it did give me that gentle, crisp feeling of driving a vehicle, as you saw earlier. One remark I want to point out, this strut tower rings, that was not there before on the pre-facelift model. It's now put in, and that technology is borrowed from Elantra N. It was first introduced on Elantra N, so this is not just there for the looks, but it does get the job done. It adds more rigidity, strength to the strut tower. That's where your suspension is mounted, as you can see. So instead of using a huge strut bars that we used to have, the chassis itself much more stronger, rigid than the old-time chassis. Although it's not visible on the outside, it does come with the hydro bush that included and has been used on many other cars previously. That tiny little things all together, put together, makes a difference. And I think that is what this facelift Kia K5 is all about. God, look at that design. It looks gorgeous. All right, so that's it for today's video. Test drive, exterior and interior look. As usual, I'm running short on time. I'm running behind the schedule, and I just got to return this car. So please bear with me. Don't forget to subscribe and like CarSceneKorea if you did, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. This looks gorgeous. Wow. And I forgot to show you the key earlier. It's got the brand new key that we've been seeing from the Kia family. It also does have the remote parking assist, which will pull the car in and out just like so, but it's not going to park the car automatically. You can only push the car forward and backwards, that's it. And when you press on the button, it's going to light up that Kia. Kind of looks cool. Nice.